WTF Nation Radio, WTF Nation Radio, WTF Nation Radio, WTF Nation Radio.
You unlock this door with the key of entertainment. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of music. A dimension of comedy. A dimension of brotherhood. You've just crossed over into WTF Nation Radio.
Considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio. We are the voice of U.S. Army. What the fuck moments? We want to tell everybody, hey, thank you for tuning in again to WTF Wednesdays with your host Jim Beam and the co-host with the most, Mr. Pookie.
How y'all doing?
They're doing great. I'll answer for them since they can't. And as always, you know, we got the ever so popular, beautiful, lovely moms in here with us tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I had to be nice, you know. I didn't want to get spanked.
Oh, yeah, well, definitely will happen later if you weren't nice.
Well, maybe I need to get a little bad then. I'm just saying. How's things going? I had to take off last week. I was kind of tied up in the, JOB. Things happen. Running through hoops tonight to get here. Just seems like it's that way anymore. A lot of stuff's been going on, man. You know, I mean, I woke up the other morning and got my radio. I'm headed off to work, and all they're talking about is this stuff down in Vegas, man. That's horrible. I don't know if anybody's covered on the other shows. I'm sure they have.
They have.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, man.
It's but you know that, and I mean I don't know. I heard someone talking today about this, and I hadn't had time to research it. I mean, you know, I've really been tied up with work for the last year or so, but I didn't have time to research it today. I was just kind of busy to get to it. But someone made the comment, did Hillary Clinton actually say something about, good thing he didn't have a silencer, it would have been more deaths?
She has been ignorant as fuck the past couple of days.
I mean, really? Like, that would have made a difference? I mean, from my understanding, she said if he had a silencer, the death tolls would have been higher. Really? I don't think so. I mean, that it wouldn't have made a difference. See, all these gun grabbers, and that's what I'm going to call her. And I don't care what your political view is, and you can hate me, love me, whatever you want to do. But I call them gun grabbers because anytime anything like this happens, they always want to throw something out in there before all the facts came out, all the facts come out, what's that going on? And because, she's got some kind of bill or had some kind of bill or her interest is, when she was a congressperson, she's got an agenda. So anytime anything like this, these gun grabbers come out with, what if they had a silencer? It's a good thing they didn't have a silencer because they want to get, they're wanting to do away with such things. And, silencers are an entirely different thing. You have to have permits for them. They're very well regulated. So it's not like anybody can just go get one. I mean, it's like a fully automatic weapon. You have to do paperwork, special paperwork above and beyond normal paperwork to any firearm. So I get tired of hearing these people when they take someone who decides to go this route for whatever reason, and then they want to escalate the reasons about what's going on to take away your take away your gun rights. That's the only way I can put it. They want to further impede upon your civil liberties.
So I have a question before you and the pooksters here. So, like, say you were to put a silencer on a rifle like that, wouldn't it not be as effective firing wise?
Silencers mess with accuracy, but at the rate of fire that he was firing at, the silencer would have melted. It would have melted.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. And so therefore, I mean, of course, you guys know that. And I mean, I was thinking, it kind of makes sense. But the average dipshit American doesn't know that.
Yeah, oh well, he could have killed twice. No. I mean, what's happening? It would have people are going to realize what's happening as soon as when you start seeing people drop. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to this. I mean, it's a travesty, but I mean, if people want to commit crimes upon other people, they're going to find a way to do it. Just think back where you have and you can call it innocent if you want to. The guy comes parachuting into the boxing match. I think it was maybe in the Holyfield or Tyson or some of those guys. He comes parachuting in there in an outdoor setting. The guy comes parachuting in, you know what I mean? So, what's next? They're going to come parachuting in with a bomb strapped to their back. I mean, if people want to do things, the problem is not the tool that they use. It's just the people are they're going to do it. If they want to hurt people, they're going to find a way to do it, whether it be with a car, a homemade bomb, a firearm, a knife, a ball bat. I mean, they're going to find a way to hurt people.
Now that you had mentioned Hillary and her, spewing out the mouth, today, USA Today had posted this diagram of the pretty much like an AR-15 and a grenade launcher on it. I guess it's an accessory you can buy to launch 40
millimeter
grenades. Yeah, I don't have my reading glasses on.
Oh yeah.
And I could think, I kind of dug into it. You can get the accessory. However, good luck getting
your hands on the grenades.
Ammunition. Yeah.
Well, if you're the right individual and with the right background investigations, it's possible. But
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you would have to you'll be taxed out the ass. You'd have to have special licensing. So for a normal person who decides to do something bad, I don't think they're just going to do it the legal route to get a hold of stuff like that.
Well, no, and they'll pay for it. I mean, there's people out there that are provided for a fee. But I mean, but I guess it just it goes back to the gun grabbing thing that pisses me off about this deal. I mean, she's just as bad as Dianne Feinstein out in California talking about,
Oh God.
wanting to ban 30, back some years back talking about ban 30 round magazines. And somebody said something about, well, what about the ones that are out there? Oh, well, once they they use them and the ammunition is depleted out of them, then they have to throw them away and buy more. So if we don't have any more for them to buy, then they
Yep.
really, you have not a clue of what you're talking about. And
That was like
so,
that report the other night, asking if the bullets in the shooting were assault bullets. This is ridiculous.
I mean, it is, and it's a travesty that when something like this happens, and your prayers and thoughts go out to the victims' families, and but don't use someone's mental illness or their sickness or their hate or their revenge or for whatever reason that they've doing whatever they're doing to take away my liberties, my freedoms. Because somebody else don't know how to act, that's like saying, hey, the fist fight breaks out on the bus, and so they're going to quit having bus transportation for everybody in the city because there's been a couple of fights on there and people are fighting on the bus. I mean, that's what it boils down to. So somebody took a firearm and they use it in a criminal act, and now you want to take away my right to own a firearm. Whether I use it for hunting or my own personal defense. And then I feel like now you're taking away my right to be able to defend myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I might misquote this, but Ben Franklin said it best. Something about liberty and safety. If you're willing to give up liberty for safety, you don't deserve either one. That's in Mom's terms.
Yeah, I think it's like he who gives up his liberties for security deserves neither, or something like that. I can't remember.
I'm looking it up.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
That's it.
And I've heard it put other ways, but that's what the quote here shows it as. So
It all means the same thing.
Exactly. So I've heard it all my life, People who are criminals are breaking the law, therefore, by definition, it makes them criminals. They're lawbreakers. They're criminals. So if you take the ability for the law-abiding citizen to obtain a firearm, what would make you think that would stop the criminals from illegally obtaining them? In other words, just for an example, as a concealed carry permit holder, when I go to a business, say we're going to dinner, and I go and there's a sign on the door that says no firearms allowed in this establishment. Okay, so as a law-abiding citizen, I will leave my firearm in the vehicle. But the criminal probably don't have a permit for the weapon, probably didn't purchase it legally, probably is prohibited from having said weapon to start with. Don't give a shit about that sign. He's going to be in there. He's going to be strapped. So, you understand my point where I'm going is, the law-abiding citizen is therefore what they are, a law-abiding citizen. The criminal's going to be in there with his weapon anyway. So if you take away my ability to purchase a firearm, the criminal's going to have one way or another. If they had to whittle it out of wood, they're going to have something. To be honest with you, though, I don't eat in restaurants or places like that. I have a little business. I have a little business card that pretty much says on there, I'm a concealed carry permit holder. I've had a background investigation, been been printed by the state, fingerprinted by the state with a background investigation performed. Can you say that about all the people eating in your restaurant? I'm going to take my money somewhere else.
Exactly. I was about to say them signs on front of those businesses saying no firearms allowed is a big old like, hey, come in and rob us sign. That's the way I look at it. I don't go into places like that.
So yeah, I mean, I don't go in with it hanging off my hip for everybody in the world to see. I think that makes you a target. But you know what I know.
Oh, my state's an open carry state, so you see that a lot around here.
Well, yeah, and my state is too. But the thing about that is that doesn't. We'll get into this with our guest coming up. But just because you can doesn't mean that you should. You understand what I'm telling you? Just because you can carry it openly doesn't mean you should. Now, I understand that, you know, in a lot of states where you don't have to have a permit as long as you're open carrying. So people just open carry and they don't carry one. But I think you're putting yourself at a small risk of becoming possibly a victim, because someone may, may decide that, you're sitting there with a firearm and say, yeah, that may be the first guy I need to shoot while I rob his place. I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to find my card here. Yeah, pretty much it says on the back, as a citizen with a concealed handgun license, I have no felony convictions, have never been convicted of domestic violence, have no history of mental illness or drug addiction, have passed a background check, and have my fingerprints on file with the authorities, have passed a mandatory training in both the use of firearms and applicable laws. Can you say that about your other customers? And then on the front, it has a picture of a firearm with a red circle around it, and it says equals. And there's a picture of a dollar sign with a red circle around it, and it says, so no firearm means no money. It says, I've noticed your sign. It says, I have noticed your sign and will respect your wishes by taking my business elsewhere. I only shop where I can carry. And I have them say, we don't give a fuck. And I'm like, sure, I understand. I'm just going to spend, 30, 40, $50 here. I'm just one person. But still, I just told you, and I feel good about telling you. Go pound stand.
That $40-$50 starts adding up when people all start thinking the same way.
Yeah, but it matters. And like I said, this all part of this can also go over to the standing for the national anthem and kneeling and all that, and we'll get in that with our guest, who will be here in about half an hour, and talk about all this good stuff like that. I was trying to, Hands Across America United we stand. Penny will be in here, and she'll discuss what her organization, her cause, what she's about, and she wants to talk about the recent events going on with the NFL and the national anthem and such, among other things. So she gets here, I'm sure we'll hit up on a lot of that too. Anyway, I guess I better stop ranting and raving about all this crap. But I mean, that's the biggest thing in the news, and it just drives me nuts. You know what I mean?
I just like how people politicize it so quickly. It was just insane.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't take. The bodies weren't even cooled yet, and they're already starting. And it just pissed me off more than anything.
Yeah.
And the conspiracy theories, that's kind of a little outrageous too.
Well, I'm starting to buy into some of them because I'm been investigating this real heavily today, and I'm seeing things. It's making me scratch my head.
Well, who knows? I mean, it just drives me crazy the way all this stuff plays out. And, I mean, here you go. All right. So what happened a few years ago in New York? They were talking about, Americans are becoming fatter and they have an obesity problem and health issues, so they're going limit the size of sugary drinks and tax them, right? Am I mistaken about that? Is that not true?
That is
Yes.
true.
Okay.
Philly did it too.
So I haven't seen a push by anybody out of Congress to start collecting forks around the country because everybody's getting their fat ass is getting too big. So they need to start going around collecting forks and spoons because it's making people fat because they're eating. I'm just saying. Maybe a bad analogy. I don't know.
Yeah, I always say if guns kill people, spoons make them fat.
It always goes back to the military and the training and the old saying is my rifle is a tool. I am the weapon. So it doesn't matter to me. The criminal is the criminal. He is the weapon. It doesn't matter what tool he uses to commit that crime, but he's going to use something.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like what they say. Like if you go to Africa and you shoot a lion or like some like elephant or something like that, they always blame the man for doing it. But here in the States, when a man shoots someone else, they always blame the gun.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I probably have about 50 or some odd firearms here at my house. And not a one of them has ever, left the gun safe, the gun cabinet, the nightstand drawer, the headboard. Not one of them's got up and went outside and shot my neighbors yet. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've been watching mine. They haven't moved by themselves yet. I've been waiting.
So, the firearms are not the issue. It's all on people, man. It's all on people. Oh, boy. I tell you what, let's take a little small break. We'll be right back with you folks. Like I said, tune in here in about a half hour. We'll have our guest on for tonight, and we'll be right back.
The night is far spent. The Constitution has been shredded. That it lives in your heart. You know what freedom is and what freedom isn't. Stand. Because when you stand, others will stand with you. And God can't stand with you if you don't stand. Once you stand, you can expect the hand of providence to be over you. Don't matter how it ends, it matters how you stand. This is Lavoy Finicum. One cowboy stands for freedom. See you later.
He was a man who loved to walk the land, turn his cheek but also take a stand. When his conviction called, he followed what he felt was right. Well, there's no telling just what time will bring. You can live for nothing or for everything, but when the pushes come to shove, and tell me, will you find? I'm only talking about a cowboy stand for freedom. I'm just talking about a name carved in a stone. A friend and brother to anyone. He's riding off into the setting sun. Drive on, cowboy, he's heading home. Well, there's almost and there's nearly wrong as you live your life from sunrise to dawn, and then it's over and the moment's gone. You can testify to things unseen, but the world is blind, can't see a thing. all you can do is try to be a human being. I'm only talking about a cowboy stand for freedom. I'm just talking about a name carved in a stone. A friend and brother to anyone. He's riding off into the setting sun. Drive on, cowboy, he's heading home. I know not what course other men may take. I can't see that far down the road. But as for me and mine, make no mistake, the weight of justice is a heavy load, and I'm living by code. He left his home to go and take a stand as voice rang out across the deafened land, and in the end it was a bullet that exposed the lies. A truth remembered is a battle won, though his murder cannot be undone. It rings out like an echo, thundering across the night. Here's to all the cowboys that stand for freedom. Why do we watch them from afar with hearts of stone? He's riding off to the setting sun, the thoughts of many from the voice of one. Well, drive on, cowboy, your work is done. Well, Godspeed, cowboy, we'll carry on.
Well, it's a beautiful day. Got things to do. Catch you later.
It's a beautiful day. It is.
Yes, it is.
I like this song. It's a tribute to Lavoy Finnegan, the guy who was murdered
Cold blood
by federal officers and state police out in Oregon for standing up for what he felt was his civil liberties and other people's civil liberties. Hate me for it, love me for it. Like I said earlier, I don't care. It's just my opinion on it. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there's some state police lost their job and were facing criminal charges and been to court. I need to look and see what happened with the outcome to that for lying to federal investigators because they fired upon the vehicle twice before he exited the vehicle. But yet they said that they did not fire any. So, there's all kind of things going on out there in the world,
Yep. World's a crazy place these days. It's insane.
I've said this before on other shows, and I don't know, where we're going tonight with everything, but it doesn't matter. It's always says when people says, I'm going to stand up and do the right thing when the fecal matter hits the oscillating device. How do you like the way I said that, Mom? And but how do you know what side of righteousness are you going to be on? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You sounded like a smart fart smeller there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I totally blew that.
I'll sniff your farts anytime.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Poor Pookie. Like, oh my God. Yeah, I thought the whole thing with the other BLM that was kind of fishy. That whole shooting.
Yeah. Oh, they set the guy up. They set him up. They and wow.
I mean, everybody was already riled up from that situation.
Right, and sometimes you you do contribute to your own demise and stuff. I mean, but he told them when they stopped him the first time, like, hey, I'm going to continue on. I'm supposed to be meeting with the sheriff up here, and I'm going. And the only way you're going to stop me is you have to shoot me. You know, it's kind of bad when you make statements like that. You know, it puts people on guard.
Yeah, but
But what gets
that
me
doesn't
is
really mean to shoot them.
right. But I mean, I'm just saying, it kind of puts people on guard. But what gets me is all the lies that were told. It's the way they had the roadblock set up. It was set up.
Mhm.
It was set up to injure someone at the minimum. The way the vehicles were set up, and then they said, he almost ran over an officer, a state trooper, a federal officer, whatever, when he went up in the snowbank. The hell he did. That guy was behind a parked vehicle, and he ran up in front of the guy. I mean, so I don't buy that bullshit. But anyway, it's not this show tonight. We're going into, but yeah, we can go over that on another one. But
Definitely.
it's just I'm sounding like a broken record here, but it's at what side of the righteous part, and what I mean by righteousness is the side that is the right side to be on, and sometimes only history will tell. But there are people that are we had listeners that listened to the show that. I had one that used to call and talking to me a lot. I still talk to him. And he told me, Jim said, man, I'm fixing to head up there. I'm fixing to take my firearms and head up there and support them. And I told him, man, do what your heart of hearts tells you to do. Just be careful.
Yep.
I think the guys are patriots. I think they went up there to stand up against the government for some stuff they were doing that was wrong, and bringing attention to it. And they're like, well, what do you need a rifle for? What do you need a handgun for? And I think they said it very eloquently. I am here exercising my Second Amendment rights to protect my First Amendment rights. So,
Yep.
if
that's why the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment.
So if you intend to shut me up and not let me have my freedom of speech, I intend to use my Second Amendment rights to continue with that. Like I said, it's a slippery slope, and it's just which side of are you on the right side or not? And just because you have a badge and you work for a federal government or a federal agency or a state agency doesn't make you right. It doesn't make you righteous. It doesn't make you on the right side of the law. And that's a problem with a lot of law enforcement. Not knocking law enforcement, love law enforcement. These guys out there putting their life on the line every day. But just like any profession there is in the world, there's good and there's bad in them.
I mean, didn't they also take an oath to uphold the Constitution?
Absolutely. But again,
Yep, same as the military.
But again, what happens is you getting into a person, their definition of what's going on, their interpretation of what's going on, and when it becomes subjective, it becomes murky and cloudy sometimes.
I don't know, but to me, I think the Constitution is written pretty well in black and white, and it makes sense. Even a dumb hillbilly like me can figure it out.
Well, I understand that, Pook, but what I'm saying is when you're out there, and so now you're saying, well, we're trying to prevent, these people, and then they get categorized in these crazy people, these nuts, these fanatics, these left wing or right wing, fanatics. From bringing harm to the normal citizen. That's where, when they start putting those labels on, and I'm sure there was some fanatical people involved in it. I said this before, just like with, we're talking about the Bureau of Land Management, Black Lives Matter. Any time that you have a cause, and a lot of times it's a good cause. You want to be heard about it. You want to bring attention to it. But what happens is when the crazy people, the extremists get involved, people forget about what the main thought or ideal or what's going on that you're trying to bring attention to is. They focus on these extreme leftists or extreme rightist individuals who have become part of what you were trying to accomplish in the first place, which hurts your cause. Could be wrong on that, but that's just my opinion. You can take that and $5 down at Starbucks and get a small latte.
Oh, I don't like Starbucks.
Well, I remember the days you just go in and get a cup of coffee for a quarter.
Yeah, now they want like $3 for something that only costs them 10 cents to make.
Well, not really, Pookie. I mean, they got the coffee and then they got all the sugar and the caramel sauce and the whipped topping and, then they throw in the extra stuff. So I don't know.
I guess.
What's going on, man? You want to give a rundown on what's going on tonight?
What, me?
Yeah. Well, here in about 10 minutes, we're going to have a guest on.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. 1 second. We got Penny Duncan coming on. She's been a Gold Star widow for 13 years. She's an advocate for suicide survivors and families of those whom deserve to be honored, even though they died by suicide. With the recent national anthem and NFL controversy, she has made it her goal to reunite Americans. And we are one nation, and our differences is what makes us a great nation. She is also wanting to express the importance of standing while the national anthem is playing. And her organization is Hands Across America. Stand United.
Oh,
there
right.
you go.
There you go. Good job, man. I know I put you on the spot for a reason.
Yeah.
This is WTF Nation Radio. We are the voice of U.S. Army. What the fuck moments? This is WTF Wednesdays with your host Jim Beam, co-hosting Pookie, and in the admin office here we have Mom in with us tonight. We have a show every night at 8:00 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. $200 for you military-minded folks. 8:00 for all you other people. If you'd like to call on the show after a while, 415-889-8367. The phone lines will be open after the guest comes on, and we have a little dialogue going. Then we'll open the lines up if you want to call in for questions or comments, and we'll let you know when that's ready. But go ahead and get your pen and paper out. 415-88-WTFNR. He looks where I said that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we also got a show, is it Tuesdays and Thursdays now, I think, in the morning.
Sweet. What's it called, TNT?
I think it's Jose's Taco Truck.
Jose's Taco Truck. See? It's good stuff, man. 12 to 1400?
Yep. Yes.
All right. I'll tell you what, let me throw some one more song on here. I'm gonna get ready for the guest. They're probably calling in shortly, and I'm gonna get Facebook Live up and running. And yeah, we'll be back and enjoy the tunes.
As the new world order takes us into the year 2000, the shadows of death cast over the sky, causing total destruction. As we transform day into night, darkness falls down upon us. We rise from the fall, uncomparable to any other form of life. Together we ride by night, unidentified, unseen, unknown. Yes, we are the pirates. Our mission is to destroy enemies by any means necessary, and those who interfere with prosecution for execution shall indeed be terminated and erased. Be gone. For we are the night riders.
So now fire, set the fire. It's the fire, it's fire. No, it's violence, it's not the devil.
It's me yelling with my shadow. I get them lifeless tossed over my shoulder as I show them to his hellhole. Dead foes to the bottom.
Us pirates be heartless. My conscience was fucking with me. I shot 'em. We ain't got 'em all. Believe me, we gonna move crazy. And I'm silent. Tonight, sipping to my other hole. We from the underland. Understand. We live to die, so we fear no man, not the dog. Every time we go, we out of the way and out of the dark. And just hope to God, he'll just come and kill us all. We all gonna die. The ways of the wildest. New generation pirates. That's new generation pirates. That's new generation pirates. Can't you feel the tip of the drop and getting cold? Below zero, but I'm go slow, go under your dough. It's magic, no it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates, one night we can fight. Can't you feel the tip of the drop and getting cold? Below zero, but I'm go slow, go under your dough. Is it magic, no it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates, one night we can fight.
I'm waiting to taste your blood run through my veins and see you gasping out my name. You'll be saying psycho, bitch, psycho, psycho. Telling on your face is how I feel you. I have to feel my thirst, so now I got to kill you. We are the forgotten souls, nightmares of every boy and girl. Night rider pirates, the leaders of the underworld. I'm so happy, knowing my torture brought you pain. Playing my little game, you hide out the watch your brain. Isn't that fun? Whoever wants some, you can hide, but you can't run. I cut off your legs, now get 1, 2 riders coming for you. 3, 4 machete at your door.
Can't you feel the tip of the drop and getting cold? Below zero, but I'm go slow, go under your dough. Is it magic? No, it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates, one night we can fight. Can't you feel the tip of the drop and getting cold? Below zero, but I'm go slow, go under your dough. Is it magic? No, it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates, one night we can fight.
WTF Nation Radio
is in the house.
WTF Nation Radio, WTF Nation Radio, WTF Nation Radio, WTF Nation Radio.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
That's right. This is WTF Nation Radio, and your host tonight on WTF Wednesdays is Jim Beam here with my co-host Pookie. And we have a guest on tonight from Hands Across America United, and her name is Penny. How you doing, Penny?
Doing pretty good. How's everybody?
We're doing good. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good. We're trying to get, some people out there to join, I guess you could call it a movement, I guess. I'm a Gold Star wife. So I don't know how many people would understand what a Gold Star wife is. My late husband passed away in active duty, and we're trying to start a movement where we've seen, all of these NFL people taking a knee during the national anthem and when the Stars and Stripes are out. And we're kind of wanting to show people that we can stand as a country again. We're not no race, no religion, no nothing. Just Americans standing up. And this is our flag, and this is our national anthem.
Oh, okay. So I guess the best place for someone can look and see what you're doing is on your Facebook page. Is that it?
Yes, we have a Facebook page. It goes by the same thing, Hands Across America, Stand United. Um, we're trying to get one city in every state. We don't care if it's a small city, a large city. We don't care. Just so that we have every state represented, and to show that we are united all the way across the board.
And with this grassroots movement, and you're trying to show that you're united, what aspect are you how you're trying to show this? What are you guys doing?
I know here in Clarksville, I actually live in Clarksville, Tennessee, just right outside of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. We are wanting to get, a group of people in each state to hold hands for 1 hour to just show that we are united, holding hands, that nothing's going to tear us down. With light of what's been happening lately, I think we need a reset. I think we need to see that there are still people out there that are willing to just stand and say, I'm here. I am American. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. Just stand with me and show that we are here for each other.
Now, are you trying to do this at a particular venue, event, or?
All we're asking is that at the same time, all across the America, at the same time, which it will be November 4th. On the East Coast, it'll be from 3 to 4. Clarksville, it'll be 2 to 3. And then Mountain, it would be 1 to 2. And then Pacific Coast, I think it is 12 to 1. So that we're all standing at the same time, kind of united as one.
Now,
are you trying to do this like the whole way across America, or is this just like small little groups?
Small little groups, 2, 3, 20. It doesn't really matter. But just, in different towns, and we want, people to take a picture of it, and we're going to put it on the Facebook page. And in the end, we want to get one from every state and put them, together to where it looks like every person, we're all holding hands to each other. And make it, show people that we can still be united, that we are still, I hate to say it, I'm 40 years old, and I remember the national anthem has always meant something to me. The flag has always meant something to me. And even now, it means even more to me because I've had it handed to me, in respect to my late husband. I know what it takes. There are so many families out there that we have had wounded, we have had, served in the military, whatever, that we know what those stars and stripes stand for. And we're not afraid to still stand up and say, hey, that still means something to us. The national anthem still means something.
I agree with you. And we kind of talked about a little bit earlier about, just because you can, maybe, doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And speaking from a veteran's point of view, most of us veterans served with the ideals, or for myself, it's to help protect our liberties and our freedoms that we have in this country that we're afforded to. But I'm one of these guys that also feel that because what I protected was your right to be able to take that knee during the national anthem. But I don't agree with
And
it to the aspect of just because you can doesn't mean you should.
well,
And
and that's what a lot of this is about. We're trying to show we have that right to stand united, hand in hand. We have that right to do that because many people like you and have fought for that right and still protect that right today. We still there's people in Iraq and Afghanistan that are still fighting to keep us with those freedoms. And I agree, they have the right to kneel because that's what our government, what our country stands on. But that doesn't necessarily make it correct. It is their right to do it, but it doesn't make what they're doing correct because a lot of people say it's about oppression, whatever. Oppression isn't a color. It's not a religion. It happens, worldwide. And in America, we have people that are white, black, brown, red, green, yellow, orange, purple. There are people that are oppressed. We will always have, our poor and our oppressed, and it's just part of being different human beings. But we want to show them that even though we are different, we all are willing to stand up and say, "Hey, I'm still here. We still mean something."
no, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. And that's but on the flip side, kind of playing a little bit devil's advocate, I can't totally condemn them for doing it. The problem
Oh yeah.
that I have with it is when they start saying things like, "Well, why should I stand for a flag over a country and a national anthem over a country uh, who uh, who oppresses people?" Well, I don't think that's what that flag represents. I don't think that's what the national anthem represents. And my problem is why do you choose that as a way to promote your cause? Because you know it's going to cause divisiveness and gain you a lot of media attention. The same reason why a lot of people burn the American flag in protest. It's not about the flag. It's not about burning the flag. It's just they know it causes a lot of divisiveness, and people are very passionate on both sides, but mostly on the side of, wait a minute, that's our country's flag. A lot of people over a lot of years have fought for that flag and for what it represents as in freedom. And what I would say is, you have a right to take that knee, but you shouldn't because that flag doesn't is not representing what you're kneeling for. And if you don't like it that well, you think you're being mistreated and you're oppressed, go to another country that doesn't have the freedoms that we have.
Well,
North
and
Korea.
that's exactly why we chose to stand. Instead of just, I live, close to a military base. I am an Army wife. My husband just got out of the Army. I am a Marine Corps Gold Star wife. You know, I agree they have the rights to do that, but the problem with it is they have set up a divider. This is, okay, these people did this, but we're looking at guys who make $3-4 million a year to play a football, to play a game. And I read that somewhere someone said, you're playing a game and these people are paying you. You need to respect them by respecting our flag, by respecting our national anthem, because that's their flag. That's their anthem. And that's why we chose, to stand up, is because we wanted to show those people that have taken a knee. There is a difference between kneeling for a flag and disrespect.
Right, I agree. I feel it is disrespectful. but again, the people start getting argued about. Well, that's well, they have a right to. You're right. You do have a right, but just because that right is afforded to you doesn't mean you should act upon it. And then you hit upon something else about that I had a discussion with here a while back with some individuals, and when I go to a football game, I paid to come and watch two teams play a game against one another. That's what I paid for. When I go to a live show, I paid to watch a play. I paid to watch actors act, be thespians. I didn't come to see you to be an activist for your own personal cause. And
Exactly.
you have now taken what I am paying my entertainment for, and you have become popular, and you have become famous, and now you want to use that platform to promote your cause. There's a place to do that, and it's not during that game or that show or whatever the venue is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't pay for your opinion. I paid for you to play.
Right. And after the game, when you're at the mic and you got media attention, if you like to say, well, I'm here, I like to bring attention. I have no problem with that. There's nothing wrong with people standing up and no matter what job you have and saying, you know what, there's something not right here. We need to come together and stop this. And I have no problem with that. But if you look, people say, well, that's a job. They shouldn't be able to control their lives. Really? I mean, there's companies out there that say you're not allowed to smoke if you work for them. You'll be fired if you do because it causes health problems. You can ask anybody
Well,
in the
what about
government.
those companies that you're? It's just like with Facebook. What about those companies that don't allow you to post certain things on Facebook?
Right.
That's controlling them.
In an
That's
aspect.
telling them what they can and can't put on social. It's telling them what they can and cannot put on social media, because I've seen people get fired for what they posted on Facebook.
Right. Exactly. And
They're a football player.
I was just going to say, I mean, there's people in the federal government, people that serve in the military, and if a general stands up and he talks bad against a president, he winds up losing his job. So you can't tell me their job shouldn't be. They don't go hand in hand, and so
Well, and it still falls along the same line, because like my husband and I we talked about this. I did not I didn't agree with Obama, but I showed him respect because he was the president. I didn't agree with a lot of the things he did, but I'm not going to agree with everything somebody does. That's what makes us American. Is we're allowed to have our own thoughts. We're allowed to have our own feelings. We're allowed to have these freedoms that were given to us by our forefathers. Doesn't mean we like it. Doesn't mean we like what somebody else has to say, but they have the right to say it just as much as we have the right to say it.
Right. I agree with you, and I think a lot of the problem that a lot of the divisiveness that's out there is if people sit down and just talk and communicate as human beings instead of hollering and screaming at one another, they might find out that they're not too far apart. They might find out they're not too much different than one another, and I don't want to get on this thing about blaming media and stuff, but a lot of times I feel like the media helps contribute this stuff by taking one side or the other and pushing really hard. I think that creates a lot of this divisiveness. But there's different reasons why people do things. But back to
yeah, and one of the things about it, is the media gets to pick what side they show. If it doesn't fit into their agenda, they don't have to show it.
Right.
Nobody
wants to tune in and, hey, welcome to the 7 o'clock news. There was no actions today. There were no break-ins. And the Piggly Wiggly has a sale on pork chops. That's not what they want to hear. They want to hear about the doom and gloom. But like I say, what it really boils down to, people, if they get together, they find out they wouldn't have a lot of differences and whatever. But I think what you guys are doing is a very admirable thing. It's trying to show the other side. We're just as much as passionate about respect and standing for the national anthem and being quiet and respecting the Star Spangled Banner for what it is
Well,
and
and
why it's there.
my biggest thing, and I think that this is what hit it home hard for me, is I have a 16-year-old son. He was 3 years old when his father passed away. He was a Marine. So he has basically grown up knowing his father was a hero and stood up for the national anthem, put his hand over his heart, saluted the flag, because that's what he believed in. He believed in that flag. He believed in that anthem. And he looked at me and he says, Mama, he says, I don't understand this. He says, why did my dad give his life if these people are going to disrespect the things that he gave his life for? And I went, we need to change this. We need to show not just the generation coming up, that are teenagers and preteens, but also those in their 20s, that America is more than just this fighting and bickering. And, I say this to my husband. It's not Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter. It's all lives matter. We are all American. We all need to stand up and basically hold hands with each other and say, you may have beat us down, but we're going to get up. We're going to stand beside that flag and beside that national anthem and be one, just like we did the day after 9/11 happened. Anytime that we've had something big, we all bond together. Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, all of those, we all came together as a country. Well, why can't we do that without there being a national disaster?
I totally agree with you. Like I said, it's a two-edged sword, and it's just I don't know what else to say about it. I understand that there are offenses that are being occurred out here. There are maybe some inequalities that need to be addressed. And I don't know, maybe they're making the point. Say, look, everybody's talking about it. So maybe maybe by kneeling and disrespecting the flag, it got everybody to talk about it and brought it to the forefront.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, I still have that thing it's disrespectful, and I just feel that way. You have a right to do it, but it's disrespectful. I have a right to pass a funeral procession, I have a right not to pull over the side of the road, but it's disrespectful. Me growing up in the South, if there's a funeral procession coming down the road, you pull over the side, you turn your lights on, and you pull over the side of the road. If they're coming behind you, you pull over and let them pass you. You don't pass them. You don't keep driving. It's out of respect, and I think that's really what's happened with our country and with everything is we've lost the ability to have respect for one another. And once you start respecting each other, and I think things would be a whole lot better. And I contribute a lot of it to politically correctness. I think that's a part of the issues that we have. Everybody tries to be politically correct,
Well, and I think we need to stop being politically correct, and we need to be human. We need to speak up, and we need to say these things are what's going wrong. We need to start being real with one another.
So what day is there? A certain day? You probably already said it, but I didn't write this down. But what day are you trying to get people to hold hands across the country?
We're trying to get people on November 4th. It's the first Saturday in November, and I know we're doing it here 2 to 3 Central Standard Time. So we want to do it at the same time so that everyone is, in a sense, united. And just, line up, hold hands, and show people that we're together. No matter how divided that we may get, kind of like brothers and sisters. I have a younger sister who, and it sounds so terrible, I will pick on her relentlessly. I will fight and bicker with her. But if somebody dares threaten my little sister, they're fighting me too. And I think that's what we need to do. We may fight and bicker amongst each other, but we're still brothers and sisters as Americans. and we need to stand up and say, "Hey, you guys have messed with us long enough. We're standing together."
Absolutely. You have any questions, Pookie?
Yeah, like I understand. I understand that you got this whole deal after the NFL thing, and I know like our nation's been divided for it seems like a very long time. Um, but damn, I'm on the spot right now. I'm sorry. I kind of choked up. I'm sorry. No, I mean everything that you're saying right now is smacking the nail on the head, and I agree with everything that you're saying right now. So I mean,
Well, and I think it would be a great way, and I guess because so many people, they see that NFL and they see these people and they agree with us that it's disrespectful. They may not agree, you know, that something needs to be done, but I do think something needs to be done. I think we need to show that, almost, kind of do a reset of, hey, if they can kneel, why can't we stand? Let's show them that we can stand. We don't need the big flare of, NFL Sunday Ticket or Monday Night Football. We just need each other.
in my personal opinion, I stopped watching the NFL after that whole hoopla because I don't want politics in my football. I just want to watch a freaking football game. But it's just me, like, but whatever.
Oh, I completely agree. The NFL, I watch the NFL to be entertained. I don't watch it for a political stance. I want to be entertained. I am a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. Have been since, I was in diapers. And I honestly, I was just, I want to watch them win, lose, draw. I don't care. It's a game. And, we were taught as kids, or at least I know I was taught as kids, that, you go out there, you try your hardest, you have fun. And these guys are so wrapped up in making that statement that they forget that they're being paid to play a game they're supposed to love. And they're supposed to want to play. Or why else would you be doing it?
No, what irritates me is this guys get paid so much, and you got soldiers overseas right now, like putting more on a line than they are, and it just drives me nuts that they have the audacity to kneel. And I'm just going on rant now, but whatever.
Well, and I agree with you. I've seen so many families, that they're soldiers, Marines, coasties, whatever, who they can't even provide, for the family they have. Yet there's these guys making $3-4 million a year playing a game that, why are they making that much more?
Well, I can answer that. Because they're in
advertisement.
They're in excuse me. They're in the entertainment business, so they're getting paid from patronage from that's the people coming in to watch whatever entertainment business they're in. As Pookie said, advertisements, endorsements, and yada yada yada. And so that's why they make that kind of money. And that goes back to what I said before. Is there's nothing wrong with you having something. We do it right here on this station. I'm nobody. I'm just a guy hiding in a bunker here in the South with my tinfoil hat on and hoping that that they don't come and take me away.
Aliens don't suck your brains out.
But that I have my opinion, and I'm fortunate enough that I have somewhat of some kind of an outlet here. As a radio host, that I blab my opinion out there. Some people agree and don't agree. So I can't blame for taking advantage of their notoriety and their fame from the profession that they've decided to be in. But like I said before, don't do it while I'm paying you to be entertained.
And the biggest thing is you don't see actors doing this during a movie. They don't, stop everything and just, start going on about what they believe.
No, but
in a movie.
But they do it during an award show or something, which they shouldn't do. They're supposed to be there about the movie and receiving their award for whatever they were nominated for and voted for. Same thing with a while back where they had some political people went to a live show, and the actors there decided to before the play had begun to put their political views out for everyone. That's not what everybody paid to come there for. Excuse me. So and I have no problem with you again, like I said, with taking your notoriety and using it to something that's near and dear to your heart to try to use. Say, hey, I don't agree with this, and I want to bring attention to it. There's nothing wrong with it, but again, don't do it while you're working. Don't be disrespectful about it in the way that you do it. Like I said before, if you're in the military, you're active duty, there's certain things you can't do. You can't go to a political rally in your uniform. I mean, there's things you can't do.
Well, and I know I was reading earlier today that one of the, execs or one of the lawyers for CBS got fired because of something she said on Facebook about the whole Las Vegas thing. Okay. I understand she was using her Twitter or Facebook or whatever it was for her, to help get her opinion out there, but that's not what she's paid to do. She's paid to make sure that that company doesn't get in trouble, and what she said could have gotten that company in trouble.
Well, I might have a little bit different opinion on that, because my opinion is while I'm sitting here and I'm gainfully employed by this company I'm working for, if I say something, then I'm representing that company. When I get on my personal Facebook page, when I say something there, now it's my civil liberty as a citizen, private citizen, to be able to say what I think through freedom of speech. And it should not affect my personal job. Unless it's, I'm sitting there talking about blowing something up or something like that. But you understand where I'm coming with that?
Yeah.
There has to be a separation, and everybody talks about, well, there's a separation between church and state. Well, there has to be a separation between your work and your personal life. And if I'm at work, I shouldn't be able to do certain things or say certain things. But in my personal life, I should be allowed to say that. But you're right. It has effects a lot of time and adversely back to your work. I should say persona, maybe, because we are dual people. We are citizens. And when you're at work, you're a working professional, and when you're at home, you're a citizen. So you should be allowed to have your own opinion and be able to use your First Amendment rights.
I agree. And, my biggest thing, I don't agree that she should have been fired. I think she should have been given a warning. She took the post down, which was a step in the right direction. She should not, she shouldn't have been fired for something that she put on her own personal page, but it happened. CBS, that's what they decided to do. And, that's the whole reason why you've got people, taking a knee. And that's why we want to stand, is because we do have that right. We have the right to show our solidarity instead of being divided. And, with that, it gives, who are we not to show how we view as a country.
Right.
We view that.
I understand where you're coming from. So basically you're saying is, hey, let's stand up. Let's be united and show that we're not going to allow just a few sports personalities to put a bad light upon the average American citizen here in this country.
Yeah, we're not going to let them rain on our parade, basically.
Exactly.
And defeat us as a nation.
Hey, I suggest y'all take it a step further. Start putting out, hey, let's all boycott, a certain game. People don't buy the tickets. Boycott it. Don't go. Just
Well, and
if it's a team that says we're gonna kneel during the national anthem and they're gonna tell you they're gonna do it, then people should come together and say, I'm not coming. I don't care if it's my favorite team and I loved them since I was 3 years old. I'm not coming to give you my money today because I feel like you're disrespecting the flag. And even if you don't,
that's
feel
exactly
like
what I'm doing right now.
Even if you don't,
well, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
The flag, it is a sign of disrespect.
I don't watch. I normally don't miss a game. I love football. I was born and raised on it. That's, that was America's pastime. It's like apple pie, football. Hello. for my family because we didn't like baseball as much. But in the essence, it was like it's just like I quit watching football because yeah, I'll check the score just see if we won or not, but I won't watch it because I don't need their political views on what's going on. I wanted to watch a game.
I've been kind of curious, and since who was it? One of the companies were talking about refunding people's money for the game day package or whatever. I'm kind of curious on what the percentage of that is.
Was that DirecTV that did that?
Yeah, I think it was DirecTV. Said everybody want a refund on their NFL package, their game day package or whatever it's called. That they would refund their money, and I applaud them for standing up doing it. But I just wonder what the numbers is, what the percentage is. And of course, whatever it is, people want to minimize it. But I mean, 10% of 100 million people.
Eventually they'll lose enough money that people are going to, it's going to come back, as they always say, the poop rolls downhill. And eventually we're going to affect a lot of people up top, and it's going to roll downhill. And those, players, they're going to be fined. They're going to, be suspended or whatever. Because
13%.
Because they're causing problems.
13% of how many, Pookie?
It was 13% of the ratings. Their ratings dropped 13% after it was Sunday.
Yeah.
So Monday Night Football rolled around. It was 13% of people.
Yeah, I remember them
watching.
coming to that. I remember them saying 13% of the ratings were down. But I wonder what the percentage was of the money that was refunded if people wanted to get opt out.
Oh,
but that's okay. We can look that up at a later date. But yeah, it does roll down. It does roll downhill. But you also have to look at. I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. Sorry, Penny. Anyway, I forgot. Sorry, but
it's okay. We call those, instead of brain farts, it's called widow brain. Because we'll just be in a train of thought, and all of a sudden, boop, it's gone.
Right.
Into thin air.
Up and gone. But yeah, I mean, I know where I was going with it. Is you're right? It does roll down, but the issue really is where you're talking about united, staying united. But people will not do that. They will not stick to that, even if they believe it's wrong, even if they feel that it's wrong. Their human nature, they will not stick to it because I want to go watch them play football. That's
and 90% of the country is a crowd follower.
You're right.
But follow the crowd. We don't want to fight the tide.
It's called the lemming effect.
Right. If the American people would stick together, and it would cause great changes. Everybody talks about the president, no matter, the past ones, the one we got now, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And we said this before on many shows. It's not the president is just one person. Everybody's concentrating too much on that. Get the people that's been in there for 20, 30, 40 freaking years. They're the problem. Get rid of those guys in Congress, in the House of Representatives, your senators. Get those guys, vote those guys out and vote new blood in. That's where the problem's at. But you go there to that vote booth and you vote for the same old guy every 4 years or every 2 years, and then you bitch about the president that's running that's been elected in. He's the one guy. You got to change the people there that's below him.
You have to change the majority, not the minority. The president is one person. Yeah, he can veto stuff, but they can still pass it around him. They don't need him. Anybody who's been through government knows that Congress and the House of Rep, they can pass stuff right around the president if he vetoes it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what the system was set up for. Checks
Exactly.
and balances, but, like I said, you got people up there that think if you empty a 30-round magazine, you got to throw it away because it ain't good no more. But yet that's the person that's going to stand up and say, the people of California voted me into office to look out for their best interests. you're right. They voted you up there to look out for their interests, not to be their overseer, and tell them what's best for them. And that's what a lot of the people in office are there now. They're telling people, "Hey, this is what's best for you. I know what's best for you. I'm your overseer. I'm your fiduciary. I'm going to tell you what's best for you." And they need to get back in their place. And I agree with
Yeah, we live in a democracy, not a monarchy.
right, but them guys up there think they're kings and princes and queens. I mean, and princes.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree that I kind of agree with what Trump said. Hey, you know what? Put the smack down on them. Hey, this is a game. This is not a place for you to do this.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So enforce a rule. If you don't like it, quit your job. I said this. I said this. I was telling somebody here a while back. Growing up, there was a lady in our neighborhood worked at the little gas station down the corner, and they started selling Hustler magazine and Playboys. And she's like, "I go to church. I'm not going to sell that stuff." And she believes so much in her conviction that she quit her job. Okay?
That's her right.
That's her right. So our employer said, "We're going to sell the magazine. You can sell it, or you can quit." Well, I'm not going to sell them, so I'm going to quit. So same thing with them. This is the rule. You're going to stand for the national anthem. You're going to respect it, whether you want to or not. If you don't like it, just quit.
Well, and it's like, all these people saying, well, if Trump got elected, we're leaving the country, blah, 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 blah. How many of them actually left?
They ain't left yet.
None.
Canada actually has immigration laws. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right?
What's the word I'm looking for here, Pookie? Hyperbole, I think, is what it is. That's what that is.
Hyperbole?
Yeah, say it for me again.
Hyperbole.
Yeah, that hyperbole. That's the word. Sometimes I can't enunciate it, but I know what it means. That's what it is. It's just them talking, running their mouth. Because they're famous and they're all over the country. They're just trying.
They're hypocrites.
They're just trying to get people that are fans that are so crazy about them. Oh, I don't want them to leave the country, so I'm going to vote the way they're voting.
They ain't going to leave. They make all their money in this country, so they ain't going to leave.
Exactly.
But anyway, back.
If it weren't for the God Almighty dollar, they wouldn't be here. So
that's all. I mean, you're right. That's exactly what people need to do. Is so if you disagree with the guys taking the knee, which they have a right to do, in my opinion, that's their First Amendment right. But I feel it's disrespectful. You're not getting my money. I'm not going to come to the. I'm not going to come to the live game. I'm not going to pay for. Go ahead.
It's also the team owner's right to fire your butt too.
That's true too. I mean, if you're part of the if you're part of the Native American tribe known as the Slapaho tribe, when you smack your hoe around, they throw you off the team. And I shouldn't make light of that, but I'm just saying is when they brought this domestic violence thing in now. So if you get into a fight with your significant other, they let you go for that. So,
well, wasn't somebody fired for dog fighting?
Went to jail.
It was Michael Vick.
Yeah, he was fired for dog fighting. How is this much different?
Well, I mean, they're breaking a law.
Still looks bad. Still looks bad on the team, though.
Well, I agree with you. There's no law against not standing for the national anthem. Okay. And so he broke a law, just like domestic violence. There's laws against it. You can't beat people up,
exactly,
including your wife. It's a law thing. It's all about you representing the company and in this case the NFL, and you have to be put yourself out there in a positive light, which sheds a positive light back on the NFL. But I also, I'm not trying to disagree with you on this. I'm just saying I think it's the wrong thing for them to do. But I think initially it started because they knew it was going to cause divisiveness. It was going to cause people to react, and that's why I think initially it was done to bring more attention to this is the way I feel about something, and so I'm not going to stand for the national. I'm going to take a knee, and it worked. It brought a lot more attention to it.
This was something.
Let me say this, Penny, real quick, okay? But think about it. Somebody did lose their job. Colin Kaepernick. Nobody in the NFL is hired him back as a quarterback, and he's the guy that started this. Not saying he won't come back, but he basically has lost his job because of it.
Well, and that, that was the thing is, we all have the right now, whether we use it or not, that's the different story. But, Kaepernick, he did what he thought was right, and he had to pay the consequences.
And he paid
That's
with
what
it.
we're taught.
So he paid for it. So my question is anybody out there, including yourself or anybody else, could you have that much conviction, that much you would stand behind what you feel so much that you would put your job in jeopardy? Would you do that? I mean, he did it. And so, I think there's some respect level there for that. For me, although I agree that what he did was disrespectful by not standing for the national anthem. Bring attention to your cause some other way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Do it in your off time. Do it in your personal time.
I don't like when you put peaches in my ice cream, but I'm not going to burn the American flag out in front of the Baskin Robbins.
Exactly. It's like it goes back to even there. There's it's just like going on in the Westboro Baptist Church. They have the right to picket funerals. Do they have the right to do it the way they do? Yes. Is it right? Nope.
No, it's disrespectful. They shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
That's why there's a lot of organizations and my beloved group of individuals in this country, the two-wheeled kind, and other groups like to volunteer to block those guys. But yeah, I said that even about them, and I know I'm repeating myself over and over, but again, just because you have a right to doesn't make it right to do so.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I think we'll just take a little small break here. We'll open the phone lines up, and if anybody wants to call in, have any questions, comments, if you want to throw some gasoline on the fire or put some water on it, it doesn't matter. We'll go either way you want to go with it. Here's a little clip by my favorite individual here, Captain Higgins. We'll be right back.
I'm a regular American. Over the course of my 54 years, I've lived the sort of life that many of you have. I've been failed. I've been fallen. I've struggled and overcame and failed again. I've known hunger. I've enjoyed feast. I'm a street cop, an old soldier, a husband, a father, a Christian. I'm Irish and English and German. My story could be the tale of any American, regardless of color or creed, despite our own individual heritage and culture. All of us, every one of us, through our lives and by our family's history, has woven the thread that defines our flag, has dedicated life and limb and treasure to establish the nation we love. All of us, young, old, wealthy, poor, black, white, liberal, conservative, every single one of us, first and foremost, is an American. If you're listening to this message, and if you can agree on a basic premise I've just stated, then please lend me your ear for the next couple of minutes. If you can't even set aside your hate long enough to allow truth to speak to your heart, then by all means step aside, child, and let the adults work. America is a nation built by imperfect men, driven by perfect intent. We've overcome every imaginable horror through our history. Some of it, horrors of our own creation. This is the way of a man's life. My own is no exception, nor is yours. And thus, also, is the way of a nation's life. America has never been without fault, nor have we ever claimed such a status. America is, however, the very finest example of free men assembled that the world has ever established. American soldiers have died on every shore to preserve our nation intact. The sun never sets on American dedication to the foundational principle that defines our own Constitution, that all men are created equal. American citizens work tirelessly across the globe to bring relief to the poor, to bring peace to the besieged, to bring stability to the shaken, and to bring freedom to the oppressed. Yet now, our own nation is threatened. America is in grave peril from threat across the seas and also from within. The elected and appointed elitist few who have seized power in Washington have squandered our wealth, mortgaged our children's future, and betrayed our trust. America faces a $20 trillion debt. Even with courageous action now, our so-called leaders in D.C. have mortgaged our future for an entire generation yet unborn. Our once respected and feared status as the world's most powerful nation has been diminished. Our own allies across the globe no longer trust us. Our borders are no longer sovereign. Our cities are on fire. Our police are murdered in the street. Our history is being rewritten. Our veterans return to a nation almost unrecognizable and are forced to battle the oppression of their own government. Our prisons overflow with poor men who long ago paid their debt to society. Meanwhile, our nation is run by thieves in suits, career politicians that no longer represent we, the people. They represent strictly their own agenda, greed, and ravenous hunger for power. I've often said in my career as a cop that a man's character shouldn't be measured by how he falls. It should be measured by how he stands back up. And in many ways, our nation has fallen. Now I ask you to join me. I ask you to take the hand of your brother and sister of every creed as we magnify our strength by the power of our American spirit. I ask you to set aside our differences and stand together as one nation under God, to stand as one people beneath the glory of one flag, to stand as a nation reborn as we face perils both foreign and domestic. Together, we can stand this thing back up. Our finest hour can yet lay ahead. The threats we face are menacing and real, but an American nation standing as one is a force the world's evils cannot defeat, a force that career politicians fear, a force that every peril dreads, that foreign horrors like ISIS tremble before. You are that force. We are that force. America's not done. Real Americans are not defeated. We are strong. We are one. I'm Captain Clay Higgins, a simple man, a humble American man. From bended knee, I thank you for what you are. My brothers and sisters all, joined by the bond of our spirit.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
That's right, Randy. This is WTF Nation Radio, and this is What the Fuck Wednesday with your host, Jim Beam, my co-host, Pookie. And we have Penny on here from Hands Across America Stand United, who is talking about her grassroots movement to try to get a large group of people in every city, in every or at least one city in every state, November the 4th, to come together, hold hands across America, symbolically, if they can't join them physically, to say, hey, we respect the American flag, we respect the national anthem, and let's put all this crap behind us and let's get back to being Americans and having respect for one another. Did I pretty much kind of sum that up for you, or did I put words in your mouth?
Yep, that is exactly what it is.
Good job. The phone lines are open if you'd like to call in, ask any questions, make any comments, like I say, throw some gas on the fire or put some water on it, whatever you want to do. They are open for you to call in, 415-889-8367. That's 415-88-WTFNR.
Call the show now at 415-889-8367. 415-889-8367.
What you say?
415-889-8367.
All right. If you didn't catch it, that's 415-889-8367. I always put that out there, and people like I see them on Facebook Live. But what's the number again? Well, it's right on the Facebook Live feed. But yeah, give us a call.
It's pinned to the bottom.
So, you got any questions on your mind there, Pookie?
No.
I'm just giving you an opportunity to get them out there.
My brain is my brain's drawing a blank tonight. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. It happens that way. I'm lucky to be here, man. I went and had some dental work done, and it didn't go too well for me. So I'm kind of in agonizing pain, whether you could tell it or not. But me being Jim Beam, whiskey is the spot.
There you
Well,
go.
you're definitely hiding it very well.
Oh, I have a high threshold for pain, a high threshold there. Yeah. And, you know, and a fifth of whiskey. So, hey, the Jim Beam Devil's Cut line is open, 415-889-8367.
There you
they'll
go.
pay me for that. I'll even take
royalties
payment
or something every time you mention it.
I'll take payment in whiskey. What are you talking about?
There you go.
We'll just
That's a
swap
legit
off.
form of payment.
Hey, I'll just come up, Jim Beam, apples, send me a fifth.
Damn, I'd say
Free-
Jim Beam
free
all night if
publicity.
they were paying me to do it.
Well, you'd have to say it all night because you are on WTF Nation Radio with Jim Beam.
Yeah. I've always been more of a Jack guy, but
I'm a Jameson girl.
I'm gonna put you're a what?
I'm a Jameson girl. I like smooth whiskey.
Jim Beam is smooth. You just gotta get it to drinking it.
Yeah, my stomach doesn't handle gin very well.
Well,
I'm not much of a drinker, anyways. Just for the plain fact.
What kind of American are you to drink Scottish whiskey over good old fashioned American homegrown whiskey?
It's an Irish whiskey.
Okay,
and
whatever.
I happen to be Irish.
A redhead.
Oh, America was kind of built on the backs of the Irish, so.
Nah, I'm just picking at you.
We got tired of them dang potatoes.
But I was gonna kind of put you on the spot here because during the break you were talking about another program that is out there that you were kind of participating in. Would you like to say something about them?
Actually, there are two other programs. Well, three that deal with children who have lost. Two of them deal with children who have lost a parent or a father. Whereas my husband, late husband, my children's father passed away. Operation 300 actually gives them a chance to go out and be a guy, male or female. They don't care, daughter, son, but they teach them how to, shoot guns. They teach them about handgun, safety, the gun safety. They take them fishing and sailing, and they get to go and just basically do things that they would have done with their father. And, they go out there and they camp for the weekend. Us moms get to go, or dads get to go to, West Palm Beach and hang out in a 4 or 5 star hotel and just kind of veg and take a little breather. And then we have what is called Snowball Express. And Snowball Express is for anyone, any child who has lost a parent in duty to our country. And we basically, they fly you to Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and you basically get to run. They have, different things. You get to go to medieval times. You get to see movies. The kids actually have different areas where they get to go, and moms and dads just get to kind of take a breather and deal with a lot of the things that come up. They get to go be kids. They don't have to hear, hey, I'm going to my dad's this weekend. When do you get to go see your dad? Because believe it or not, Golden Star kids, that's one of the hardest questions that they have to answer is, they know your dad's not around, but they don't know why. And for these Gold Star kids, they don't have to worry about answering that question for those 4 or 5 days. And then there's TAPS, which it stands for Tragedy Assistant Program for Survivors, and they hold seminars and good grief camps. Well, the seminars are for us adults. We get to go and see that we are not alone in our journey through what we call grief. You know, we get to learn about ourselves and that, you know, we're dealing with things. But the kids, they get to go and do what is called Good Grief Camp, and they spend the weekend with a mentor who is active duty or a veteran, and they get to go and they get to play. They get to talk to other kids who are in their situation, who have lost a loved one, who understand that void that these kids have without it being uncomfortable, because they know they're with someone who understands. If they cry, they cry, and nobody says, well, why are you crying? You know, they understand, hey, you know, you're missing that person. And it's very vital for these kids because it's really hard. I don't know anybody else, but I know in my teenage years, I had both my parents, and I felt very abnormal because, you know, you're just kind of awkward and gawky. And then add into that you've lost, you know, someone substantial in your life, you know, whether it be a parent or an uncle or whatever, you kind of don't know what to do because you're just a little bit more awkward than everybody else. But when you're at these camps, you're not. You're just you. We all, you know, they all understand that you're missing that person. And
I also highly recommend TAPS.
Yeah, TAPS is amazing.
I just recently lost a family member myself, my brother-in-law, and I directed my sister to contact them because she's going through, you know, legal stuff. And of course, you know, one side of the family is saying one thing, the other side, I was like, look, you need to talk to someone who isn't affiliated with either side of the family. You know, don't feel guilty about it, but you need to grieve and get stuff off your chest. And they because they offer grief counseling, and they've been wonderful for her. Like right now, my niece is only like a year and a half. So as she gets older, she gets to participate in all the stuff that you're talking about, Penny.
Yeah, she'll get to, you know, she'll be, and I always put it this way, you know, especially when it comes to TAPS. It's a family you never wanted to be a part of, but you're so glad it's there when you need them. Because, you know, I would not wish being a part of the TAPS family on anyone. Because that means you lost someone who is very dear to you. And it's very hard because that hole that you have is permanent. You can't put it's like you can't put something in there to make it fill back up because that person is no longer there. And TAPS, you know, the people at TAPS understand that. And they don't expect us to, you know, to be happy all the time. They know that we're going to have our down moments. And one thing I love about it is TAPS has what they call peer mentors. And I happen to be one. And my peer mentor was actually a saving grace. I didn't find out about TAPS until I was in year 6 of my grieving process. And in that time frame, I'm now 13 years out. In the time frame from when I found them to where I am now, I'm a totally different person than what I was. I know that my grief will never go away, but I can live with it. I can see it for what it is now instead of it being like this overwhelming thing. And, you know, it makes me want to stand up and makes me want to do things like Hands Across America to make my husband proud that he was American and that he did fight for this stuff. And, you know, I look up to the person who founded TAPS. You know, Bonnie, she is just a remarkable woman who just has overcome so many obstacles. And if I could just overcome 1/8 of what she's done, I would consider myself a success.
I was leaving a pause there. I thought Mom was still talking with you.
Oh, no, I was just doing research. Sorry. No, mean, I heard everything, what she was talking about with taps, and then I hope my sister gets to, develop those relationships with the other family members that are going through the same thing as she is.
And that's one of the great things about TAPS is, we are all in different, every single one of us that are a part of the TAPS family, we're in different stages of that process. Some are very fresh and new and it's right there on the surface. And then there are people like me who were used to this. I call it the cha-cha because, it's 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Sometimes we're moving sideways. Sometimes we're just going around in a big old circle. But the thing isn't whether you're moving forward or backwards. It's you're moving. You're doing something. And that's all that matters is because our loved ones would not want us to just lie stagnant. They would want us to move. And, I never say moving on because I'm never going to move on. And that's one of the things that I've had people tell me that they love about me is because I still do things and, I don't want to say celebrate, but I don't know how else to put it. My late husband's anniversary. And every year we set off balloons. This year we set off 13 balloons because he's been gone for 13 years. But we always find a little way to kind of, I guess, memorialize him on his birthday and on his anniversary. And, the people at TAPS, they understand that. They understand that these little things are what help us keep their memory alive. The people that passed away, their memory, whether it's writing a note and putting it in a bottle and throwing it in the ocean or just, sitting down. TAPS understands. They don't judge you.
I will have to say I agree with a lot of mostly everything you're saying there. But one thing you said is you talk about and you didn't want to use the word celebrate, but that's my personal feeling. I feel like and I've always believed this. You celebrate a person's life and not mourn their death. That's just the way I look at it. I think that's a way to look at it. Is saying, hey, yeah, celebrate the life that they lived, not the moment that they left this earth. But that's just the way I look at it. So I agree with you having conflict with choosing the right verbiage there, but I think it's a very well way of putting it.
Well, and one of the biggest things, like for me especially, is Stephen was one of those people. He was larger than life. He always had a hug for. He never met a stranger.
Hello. I think we lost Penny.
Hello.
Yep.
Oops.
We'll give her a few seconds, see if she can get back in. Oh, hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We have on the phone with us, having a little technical difficulty right now. She should be back in a minute. Penny from Hands Across
I'm
America.
here.
Stand United. On November the 4th, they're having a grassroots movement to try to get everyone to come together, and their goal is to have at least one city in every state, to have a large group of people to come together and hold hands and say, hey, we stand up for the American flag. We stand up for the national anthem. You can take a knee if you like, but we're going to stand. And if you're interested in that, just go over and support them and go to Facebook and just type in Hands Across America, United We Stand, and you'll be able to find their Facebook page.
It's Stand United.
Is that what I said? Or did I say United
No,
We Stand?
United We Stand.
Yeah, it's, well, I don't know. I mean, it's a Freudian slip there, but you always hear that United you stand, divided you fall. So, but yes, it's Hands Across America, Stand United.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing is we wanted to show our solidarity and that we can stand. And it's, just wanted to start it and show everybody, show people that we're still here. We're still fighting. We are still one nation under whatever God you decide to, you want to or not. That's your choice.
Well, it looks like nobody wanted to call in and have a comment or a fist fight. We'll go either way you want to go.
They're not feeling feisty tonight.
No, not at all. Hey, we appreciate you taking your time out of your life and your busy schedule to come in and talk about your grassroots movement and what's near and dear to your heart, and I think it's an admirable thing. Like I said, if you can take a knee, we're gonna stand. So
Thank you.
and,
Thank you for letting me, talk about it and, the other programs. And if anybody, wants information that maybe they are a Gold Star family and they want information about any of that, they can get a hold of me through Hands Across America, on the Facebook page. And I'm more than willing to help anybody out. And if you'd like to set up your own little Hands Across America in your town, please just, send me a message on my Facebook page or post in the on the page, and we will get everybody hooked up.
there you go. Keep up the good work and keep fighting the good
I'll
fight.
be standing with you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we're going to take a little break here. We'll be going off Facebook Live shortly. But we'll be back. We'll still be on WTFNationRadio.com, WTFNR.com if you'd like to come over and watch us there and listen to some music. And with that being said, we're going to jump off here and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
You packed your bags and shut the door. You crossed the sea to fight a war. You didn't know just what would happen to ya. Stepped in the dirt, boots on the ground, and gunfire was the only sound. And to yourself you whispered hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Every day and every night you walk the walk, you fight the fight. You never saw the end in sight, now did ya? The days are washing a haze of red, the blood, the mud, too many dead. Your weary soul was crying hallelujah, 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 too late to help you hear a shot. You know you're in a deadly spot. You never thought the day would come, now did ya? Your brother falls down to the ground. The enemy is all around, and from your lips you scream a hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. You fought the fight till it was done. You have the strength to carry on. You thought it'd be much better back home, did ya? You try each day, keep pushing through, but the battle lives inside of you. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
That's right. This is WTF Nation Radio, and this is WTF Wednesday with your host Jim Beam and co-host Pookie. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We just had our guest on tonight, Hands Across America, Stand United. Go to Facebook and look them up. November the 4th, their grassroots movement is to. Their goal is try to have at least one city in every state to join hands on November the 4th, and basically symbolically across America, saying, "Hey, we're standing for the flag. We're standing for the national anthem." You may be a famous individual, and you have the spotlight on you, and you're kneeling at the national anthem, but we don't have that spotlight, so we're trying to make our own and stand up and say, "Hey, this is what you should be doing for the national anthem." I'll repeat myself, and I've probably done it 10, 15 times tonight. Just because you have the right to do something doesn't make it right to do it. So anyway, for all you Facebook Live folks out there, we'll be jumping off Facebook Live, but we will be over here at WTFNationRadio.com on the live chat room. That's WTF Nation Radio or WTFNR.com. Come over and check us out there. Got the chat room up. The video is running, audio running, and we'll be over there. So come check us out. Facebook Live is be dropping its feed here shortly. What's up, Pookie?
Not much, man. Just been living an American dream.
And what exactly is that?
I don't know. I'll work when I can and do what I need to do.
Work.
Stay alive.
Work when you can, man. I hear you. I understand that. Nowadays, it's more like have time off when I can.
Yeah. It's like I get the full moon tonight, man. It's crazy.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. Get out there and howl at the moon and listen to the crickets and all that good stuff.
No, that's what I do every night.
Every night?
Every night.
Don't your neighbors get tired hearing you howl at the moon?
No, they got used to it.
They did. So what's your opinion on the NFL guys kneeling? I mean,
Well, I mean, I've already stated my opinion many of times, and I'm not watching anymore. I watch football to watch football. Football is supposed to be like kind of like unification of America, and now they've tried to divide us. I'm done with it. The NFL isn't getting another goddamn cent from me ever again. I'm not buying a jersey. Tried to divide us. Ain't doing. I got Redskins Stadium right around the corner from me. So. But nope, not a damn cent.
I understand. Hey, stand by your guns. I mean, I'm not going to any live games. Matter of fact, I haven't even watched any. If I had the NFL's game day Sunday package or whatever the different people call them, I would have took up their offer to have a refund on it, but I didn't have it because I'm not that fanatical about football. I like to watch it, but I don't have the time to sit around and watch football all day long. On the weekend, would love to, but I basically just like one of the someone was earlier, just kind of tune in and see the scores or whatnot. But as far as watching it, I don't even watch it because I don't even want to get advertisement dollars. I don't know if they can tell if you're watching or not unless you're in the Nielsen family, but. I'm sure there's a way that they know what channels you're tuned into through these new cable boxes and stuff. So I'm kind of tuned out on them. And, like I said, as a veteran, I feel like that that's one of the things that I served for was for people to have their rights and their freedoms. And one of those is the freedom of speech. And they're exercising that freedom. But I don't agree with in the manner in which they're doing so. So.
No, I agree. You hit the nail on the head with that. I mean, I'm a firm believer. Go ahead and protest all you want, but I mean, I don't have to, drop my dollars on something I don't agree with.
And I guess it really boils down. Try to do it in a way that's not disrespectful. Of course, what's disrespectful for you may not be for. It's disrespectful. It's like to me. It's like well, I'm almost like spitting in my face. I mean, it's just a sign of disrespect. It's like turning your back on someone when they're talking to you. It's like sitting down while having a conversation with somebody if they're standing. There's all kind of things that are disrespectful, and you know what they are and what they're not. And so
Southern etiquette, man. Come on.
Yeah. So I mean,
someone walks by, you say, "Hey, how you doing?" Up here in Virginia, they look at you like you're crazy and shit. Like, who the fuck are you? I mean, I'm sorry, that's the way I was raised, man.
Right. But like I said, I sound like a broken record, but I agree that you have the freedom of speech and you have the right to take that knee, but I feel like it's disrespectful because I think you're using something that shouldn't be used to further your whatever your cause is or the thing that you want to bring attention to, and but again, broken record. And it's just the way I feel about it. So, again, I like saying it. Just because you have the right to do it doesn't make it right to do it. So, come over and join us at WTFNationRadio.com. WTF Radio. WTF Nation Radio. I said that backwards, didn't I? Man, I'm having a problem with my words tonight. I'm dyslexic in saying it. But, yeah. WTFNR.com, WTFNationRadio.com, and join the live chat room.
You're listexic. That's what I like to call it.
Listastic.
I have the same issue. I'm like, I see things backwards sometimes. I just spit it out. I call it verbal listexia.
I got you. Cool. Sounds cool. I think we lost our Facebook feed, so that's a good deal. We can play some music.
No more Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I like playing the music. Maybe I should be more on Facebook Lives. I don't know, but what I know. But I don't want that. I'm gonna take a little break. Gonna have to get rid of some of this whiskey and Coke here, and refill my glass because I got to fill the bladder back up after I empty it. So for all you folks out there, Halloween's coming up, so you got to look out for the boogie woogie woo.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show.
Tour, and you're listening to WT.
Hey. I just saw you over there looking at me. I like what I see too. Fucking gorgeous. Come over here. Let me make one thing clear. I want your pussy dripping down my beard. 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 Let me make it clear, come over here. I want your pussy dripping down my beard. Let me make it clear, come over here. I want your pussy dripping down my beard. I ain't prime. I smell your pheromone. Mind fuck your amygdala. Activate your pleasure zone. Lust. Breathing in your chemicals. This shit subliminal. Tongue fucking your Rosetta Stone. Breathe. You're wet for me. Let my fingers find the G. Look me in my eyes while I touch it. I feel your legs shaking. Release. Why not making my puppet? Your pussy dripping down my beard. I want your pussy dripping down my beard. I want your pussy dripping down my beard. I want your pussy dripping down my beard. Let me make it clear, come over here. I want your pussy dripping down my beard. Let me make it clear, come over here. I want your pussy dripping down my beard.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
As the new world order takes us into the year 2000, the shadows of death cast over the sky, causing total destruction. As we transform day into night, darkness falls down upon us. We rise from the fog, uncomparable to any other form of life. Together we ride by night, unidentified, unseen, unknown. Yes, we are the pirates. Our mission is to destroy enemies by any means necessary. And those who interfere with prosecution for execution shall indeed be terminated and erased. Be gone. For we are the night riders, killers of the night, and first of our kind.
Temperature dropping, getting cold. Below zero, when the mo goes slow, blow, what do you know? Is it magic? No, it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates, I'm like, we get violent. Hey, hey, can't you feel the temperature dropping, getting cold? Below zero, when the mo goes slow, blow, what do you know? Is it magic? No, it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates, I'm like, we get violent. Hey, hey, hey.
You're taking chances when you run up on me. I got something waiting in the good for you. Wipe that smile off your face when you see it riding through. I'm on my way, oh, you're something to get killed without the clothes. I'll be running to continue one thing. I want right now is not what you really want. Pirates got the run on lockdown with from the darkness. We complete the ground. So who wants the content? We got more than enough whistles for everybody. When I paint the town in blood with the suntan. No matter you're not sounding so tough. Am I calling your bluff? When the high tides come crashing, ashes to ashes and dust.
To dust. We are the pirates, the pirates. Yes, we are the pirates, the pirates. Can't you feel the temperature dropping, getting cold? Below zero, when the mo goes slow, blow, what do you know? Is it magic? No, it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates, I'm like, we get violent. Hey, hey, can't you feel the temperature dropping, getting cold? Below zero, when the mo goes slow, blow, what do you know? Is it magic? No, it's murder, they don't know. There were pirates.
WTF Nation Radio
is in the house.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
That's right, Randy. This is WTF Nation Radio, and this is your host for What the Fuck Wednesdays, Jim Beam, with my co-host, my sidekick, my partner in crime, Mr. Spooky Pookie.
How y'all doing?
Hee-haw, they doing well, man. Halloween's coming up. We need to take us a trip up there around Spooky's neck of the woods if you can survive.
Yeah, we'll get some moonshine for sale.
You get around that steel, you might not make it out of them heels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Better get your shine off the back of the mule. Don't try to go get it from the steel. It's been a pretty good night, man. You know what I'm saying? We talked about some things going on in the country and voicing our opinions on what's going on. We had Penny in here talking about her organization, her grassroots movement, Hands Across America, Stand United. Hit them over on the Facebooks there. Again, that's Hands Across America, Stand United. Said their goal is to November the 4th to symbolically cross hands across America, hold hands across America. They're wanting to try to get at least a group in at least one city in every state at the same time to hold hands, representing we are united. We stand for the national anthem. We stand for the American flag. Oh, glory. Have some respect for.
So you better respect the flag, man. I get mad when people disrespect the flag. I admit, I might be my military thing or whatnot, but I get mad about that shit, man.
I mean, people should be upset about it. I mean, it represents our country, and by definition, it is the flag of the United States of America, which flies to represent freedom, the freedom for every citizen here. It represents for everyone, not just the few. It's for everyone. And yes, if you feel like that there's some people out there that are not getting their due respect, not getting their, I would say, their freedoms, maybe some of their civil liberties are being taken advantage of, by all means, stand up, shout it from the mountaintops. There's an injustice going on. We need to fix it. But don't disrespect while you're doing it in any fashion. You know. But hey, that's just me.
Oh, I'm with you on that, man.
But you know, there's a lot of people that's carried that flag through the battle and throughout our country's history and what it represents. And I don't know. I just can't preach on it enough. Like I said, I feel that you do have a right to have your freedom of speech. You can take your knee, have a moment of silence, stand up and say, "Hey, there's an injustice going on." You have the freedom. That's your right to do so. But just because you have the right doesn't make it right. And but you know, it's kind of a conflicting, polarizing thing. You know, it eventually it has caused dialogue and communication, and people talk about it. Here we're talking about it, and maybe that was their whole idea from the beginning. But I just hate that you know the word could have got out. Your cause, what you feel is injustice, could be addressed without having to do it in a disrespectful manner. It's just my opinion. You know. But I think we beat that horse until it's a glue.
Yeah, I got so much English glue tonight, man. I don't even know what to do with it.
But hey, like I said, I just throw my opinion out there. Somebody else might be listening, didn't hear it earlier tonight or whatnot. But hey, and that's my right, my freedom speech to tell you what my opinion is on it. If you disagree with it, say I disagree with it.
I disagree.
Oh, you disagree with what I said?
No, I don't disagree with 99% of the shit you say because you just hit the nail on the head 99% of the time with everything you say. So yeah.
No, you're cool, man. I'm just saying it's just and that's what I'm saying is you can disagree with what I'm saying. I disagree with you taking it into the national anthem. I'm one person. I'm one individual. I choose not to at this point to me personally support the NFL in any way, fashion, form whatsoever. I don't go to any games. I have in the past, but I haven't this year. I haven't tuned in and watched a game. I watch college football, but I haven't tuned into the pros. I might catch the recaps in the paper or maybe on the news in the mornings, see what the scores are. But as far as watching it and patronizing them, and I'm not doing it. That's my choice. And
Exactly.
Maybe I'm just punishing myself. But you know what? I like to watch football, but I mean, I can live without it.
So yeah, that's why I watch hockey, man. Hockey is legit.
So that's like we was talking to Penny earlier. My opinion is if you feel that way, then stick to your guns. And keep the boycott going until something changes.
There you go. That's the beauty of it being American. We can vote with a wallet, man.
That's right. I mean, you got people out there burning NFL memorabilia, shirts, footballs, helmets, whatever. That's your choice. I'm not burning mine.
Yeah, well, you already done spent money on it.
Yeah,
Why burn it?
I'm just not going to. I don't wear it in support of them, and I'm not buying anything else. Once they, I feel like they correct the disrespect that's happening, then you'll see me in public wearing an NFL jersey or a hat. But that's my choosing.
You're right, man.
So, yeah, I'm not going to argue with them. I'm just going to sit there and say, "Oh, you're wrong." This and that. Hey, because they're not. They're not wrong. You have a right to do it. It's disrespectful, but you have a right to do it. So.
Yep.
But anyway. Yeah, I took a little extended music break right there. I had to go to the restroom and refill my glass, and then I had a phone call, and you know how things go. So y'all got a little extra dose of some music there to play through. Just glad I had some stuff queued up, ready to roll, just in case such things come up. I think we had a pretty good night. How about you, Pookie? You have a good night?
Yeah, I had a fantastic night.
Are you all liquored up and ready to call it a night?
I'm getting there.
I hear you. It's not far off. Hey, I would like to say I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate your support for WTF Nation Radio, for U.S. Army What the Fuck Moments, and the little small support we get here for Jim Beam and Pookie. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us and taking your time to listen to us rant and rave and listen to what our opinions are on things. Hope you guys are entertained and you enjoyed your time with us. That's what we're here for, try to entertain you, take your mind really someplace else. Maybe have a good time and enjoy the music and enjoy the conversation and all that good stuff. So think we'll just call it an evening here.
Shots.
Yeah, shots. And if you don't drink, smoke one. If you don't smoke one, DD 14 required. Get you a cup of coffee, whatever your poison is. Just chill, relax, and have a good time. And everybody be safe on the weekend upcoming, and we'll catch you next Wednesday. Got any parting shots besides shots?
Don't drink and drive, and don't beat your wife. I always say that every time I'm on the show, man.
Hey, I want to give you that opportunity to keep your streak going.
Don't do anything stupid.
That's a broad statement right there. All righty, folks. We're out of here. Thanks again. Love everybody.
Goodbye.
Man, he's gonna say goodbye to the whole goddamn country now.
Of everything that stirs the air.
Goodbye! Okay, I'm good.
No safety or surprise the air.
Okay, lady, I love you. Bye-bye.
I'll never look into your eyes again.
Good night. God bless you. And don't forget to wear a rubber.
Hang that shit up.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.